There we go. Is this okay?
Okay. Yes, I think it is. Okay.
Okay, so if you want me to navigate anywhere, just say it.
Yes, just we will be proceeding. I would like to welcome everybody and also give the word to Darko as the executive director of the ICOM Croatia. Please, Darko.
Yeah, thanks, Goranka. I'm happy and that we have this meeting. Of course, it is happening in a pre-holiday time, and it's in a way kind of like promotion of the book. So you know how promotion of the book quite often goes. But anyhow, we will done some introduction and idea of the behind the book. Which will be, and it is actually already distributed around. So from my side, just a few comments about that I'm pretty happy that National Committee here cooperated with international committees, foremost Intercom, then with the Regional Alliance, the ICOM Southeast Europe, ICOM Arab 2, and finally another national committee, ICOM Qatar, so which is, I would say, perfect combination of national, regional, and international side. And within that, look at one of the most important topic among museum, not only museum professionals, but in our case, museum professionals today. So about leader and the mentorship and how, in which way that both of that ideas could fit into our daily work, and by doing that correctly, improve and put the museum work on the higher level. But that's all from my side as a indeed kind of introduction, and I will call now Goranka as a chair of ICOM Intercom to give us a little bit more about the project and idea behind the publication. Goranka, please.
Thank you, Darko. I would like to say that a leader-mentor project has actually two sources. One source for the title came from Intercom's activities that we have been employing since 2020 with the global research and further development of several projects based on that. And another initiative in which I was involved, and that is Creator Mentorship Project, which has been implemented in Southeast Europe in order to enable peer-to-peer mentoring among leaders in the cultural sector in general, and among them, the museum people as well. What I would like to say is that we have somehow perfectly merged these two initiatives into a series of workshops. And we have probably, with this publication, got the tool which can spread some of the knowledge within our communities. What is important is that the publication has been financed by ICOM Croatia, and in fact, it was supported by the Ministry of Culture and Media, with whose help we were able to publish the publication, but also to ensure a large participation of Croatian representatives during the events in Doha, in Slovenia, in Bucharest, and in Zagreb. Plus, we were able to make arrangements with our external experts like Lizzie Moriarty and Creative Mentorship, Višnja Kisic, who is one of the well-known experts in Europe. And we managed to have dialogues, workshops, panels related to the topic. What is really important that in the introduction, we have somehow stressed what is the the main core of the initiative, and that is to see how we can assist leaders in order to prepare them for the challenges which are present in the 21st century. What we have seen this model, how the theory of change is going on at the rapid speed today, has been triggered mainly by the global pandemics, which significantly influenced the how museums behave and how they work. And plus then we had a series of follow-up misfortunes like the war in Ukraine with the aggression that completely destabilized economy, especially in Europe, which was also followed by energy crisis. And all these situations certainly influenced museums at a very high level. Why? Because our institutions are mainly housed in large historic buildings with collections, and and we do consume a lot of energy. Then we have old-fashioned way of addressing the energy consumption still. So we also saw that there are new challenges related to climate change impact, which was obvious during our Intercom last conference in Paraguay, where we joined forces with other 3 international committees plus 1 national committee, which showed how it is necessary to change the mindsets of the people who are leading museums. Another thing is obvious, that the crisis will never stop. So the new conflicts between Israel and Palestine also destabilized the Eastern Mediterranean. And we see that new challenges are popping up constantly. What we have seen as one of the important conclusions coming out of the survey that we conducted between 2020 and 2021, actually we still see that the main problems stay the same. So financial management and finances are, like cemented on the top as the priority. But this actually is present all over the globe. We saw it in rich countries, in the countries that are developing, in the third world countries, but especially in Southeast Europe, where we have another situation that during to the open EU funding, we have a lot of new venues, new interpretation centers, new visitor centers that are popping up, and actually later, after being completed, somehow they are also addressing public funding for the support. And since the budget in the ministries do not rise, it is obvious that larger heritage institutions are actually receiving less and less money. So when in one study, when we compared how much financial support was designated for museums at the beginning of the 21st century and what's the ratio now, we can see that it is almost half less from national funding. Of course, there are a lot of opportunities for EU funding, but there are also limitations. For example, in the last two financial terms, we had limitations in funding about 5 million, including what. So it is not enough for a large investment in complete refurbishment of museums. So still, they do depend largely on national funding. What we have then tried with our leader and mentor group and publication is that since we are not going to solve those financial problems, certainly we have to address the issues we can have a more impact on. And this is how we strategically develop our programs and plans, how we communicate with the stakeholders, and how we empower our staff. The last issue has been also highly on the agenda, since some research done not only in museum sector, but in cultural sector, even in business sector, show that a lot of employees actually think that the communication is the weakest point of their leaders. They claim they are not, how to say, familiar with all the goals and missions, with the purpose of doing something, how things are developing, and they require a more transparent communication. On the other hand, we also saw that the leaders actually have the impression that they are communicating well, that they are using the digital tools, that they are informing everyone during the meetings and via emails. But somehow this problem stays present. In one of our workshops, what we really stressed in this publication is the need that we have to open new channels of communication and improve the dialogue between various layers within the institution. But it has been also clear that most of the museums suffer from the lack of the staff. So especially in this communication part, we have very few employed marketing experts, public relation officers, educators, project leaders. So when we look at the main percentage of the employed jobs in museums, for example, in Croatia, these are data from the Museum Documentation Center, we see that the majority of employees are curators. And many of them actually do not think that the communication business is their core business. And without proper staffing, museums really do have a serious problem in addressing all relevant stakeholders with constantly refreshed information, because it is really not realistic that one leader or a director will be doing these things all day long. Another thing, what we have also noticed is the need to fight the silo mentality in our institutions. So it is very difficult, what museum directors during our workshop said, to how to say, to keep people constantly enthusiastic, and if the things are not going on at the pace that everybody expects, it will happen. For example, our refurbishment programs and projects, they last for ages. It's if it's not a priority of EU funding, then it takes years and years. It is developed usually in phases, and a lot of people lose the enthusiasm and do not see the end of the project. Besides that, we have a somehow inherited way how people behave in museums. So new employees come, and soon they become overwhelmed with the general working culture in the institution. This is something that we have talked about during our workshops, which took place in Zagreb, in Brežice, in Doha, and also we made a summary in Bucharest. So that's why the Leader Mentor publication actually grasps the main moments of these events and meetings. And actually we see that a lot of people do have similar issues on the agenda. Plus, there is a problem in motivation, which is not somehow recognized either by having an opportunity to award the people, in a way, those who are really doing good, who are, how to say, agents of change in the institution. Because with the very fixed and controlled system of wages, these opportunities are really, really low. On the other hand, you cannot really, how to say, as a director, employ and dismiss people without the permission of your founder. So there is a whole administrative and bureaucratic burden lying on the shoulders of the museum leaders, which prolongs every necessary activity, and also it, how to say, suffocates any innovation and creativity in setting new jobs. Our all job lists look like, I often said, like we are in the 1980s. So the same job description, the same list of jobs, and we are completely missing the whole range of new jobs which are linked with digital transformation, which are linked with climate change impacts, which are linked with greener technologies, which are linked with, how to say, participatory practices, spreading with museum activities in virtual space. So we really somehow got stuck with an old-fashioned system, which is now urged to produce the results related to the goals for which we are not prepared or supported adequately. And this is something where we see that we need to back up each other. That's why this initiative that Intercom has developed with regional forums, allowing people to exchange good practices, to give advice, to, how to say, help each other with their experience, is particularly valuable. We have also thought whether to go with huge global forums, but then we saw that many different parts of the world have actually different systems, different inner circles of decision making. And it is not easy to copy paste the solutions, for example, which are valid in UK and states, for example, in Southeast Europe, or in colleagues which are coming from Latin America or Arab countries or Southeast Asia. Because you really do confront main challenging issues in a different way. Perhaps we all have the same global challenges, but how they are addressed and how they are inside the country solved, this is the problem. Also, I have to mention our other project that Intercom did with CIMA, and this was Museum Watch Governance project, which actually addressed these peculiarities of how boards are functioning. For example, the role of the board in Western countries, where they are seen as an important stakeholders who independently make decisions, is completely different in some countries, in, for example, Southeast Europe, when you have politically appointed boards who are really not interested in working for the museum, but actually they are arm's length of the governments, and somehow support the museums in the extent that the governments dictate them. Then we have a very limited influence on the budget, so boards cannot be also involved there. But however, when I was talking with some colleagues from the Western Europe, we also saw that although declared independent, we have in Britain the people in the boards who are former ministers or former MPs, and actually the politics does play a significant role there as well. Maybe it's not so visible, but in reality, it exists also there. Another issue, what I would like to mention, and which was the topic of one of our workshops that we have in Doha, is the ethical code of ICOM. The new ethical code of ICOM is now on the agenda. And there are consultations, and I would advise you to take part also from different countries. Intercom has sent some, I did it on behalf of Intercom, some remarks. And of course, I also took part in a session of the consultations related to the governance and management and ethics. Because it in the former ethical code, it was really a small part devoted how the governance should address issues with care. Actually, conflict of interest is something that can nowadays have the whole span of possibilities, not only inside the institutions, when the people less and less now than they used to, but have their own private collections in the field of what they collect in the museum. Then, of course, deciding what is going to enter the museum collections also. We have followed the affairs, how some of the museums and galleries have been accused to artificially raise prices of some artworks of selected painters and artists, and then how to say, make a financial balloon around it, enabling and encouraging private investments and art collectors, which have somehow pursued these investments in art. But of course, we also have to really be aware that collecting and the basic museum business should be transparent and without any such commercial influences. But on the other hand, we have boards and we have our founder who also have to follow ethical principles. In Croatia, we have really, I must say, improved the legislative, which now requires that the board members appointed in museum boards should at least have a university, and they should have some knowledge about museums. However, we have another situation that in the boards we have museum directors of the museums who are competing with us for the same funding, with the same founder, which is also something really questionable when we are speaking about the conflict of interest. So these ethical principles are really, how to say, stretching a lot when governance and management are in question, and we have somehow insisted that all layers of management and all institutional levels are somehow overwhelmed with encircled with the new code of ethics. It needn't be very elaborate, but at least it should point out good practices and how to be inclusive, transparent, and working for the well-being of visitors and the community. I would also, maybe if we can come to the conclusions, Mattia, if we can go down a little bit. Yes, what we have actually done is the recommendation for the Code of Ethics and the role of the boards. But we have also in our programs opened the possibilities of these two ways of further how to say development of skills among the leaders, and that is to continue taking part in our regional forums, which Intercom and partners are organizing also next year. The next one will be in Morocco in January with ICOM Arab partners and ICOM C, which is going to also have a focus on building resilience and disaster prevention. We saw that more and more museums are confronted with the consequences of climate change, and therefore we really do have to introduce measures in the management how efficiently deal with that. Another is the peer-to-peer mentoring, which also is offered by Creative Mentorship. They are offering it in Southeast Europe, so it can be implemented in different countries. And so Vishna Kisic also mentioned that you can address them, go to their website and see if there is a possibility for you either to participate as a mentee or as a mentor. This is a longer program. It lasts for 1 year, and I have also described one success story in this publication, which I had with our colleague from Kikinda from Serbia, who was my mentee for a year with the ambition to become the director of the Terra Museum. And he successfully managed to do that. I'm very pleased that this was helpful to him, because in this talk and exchange of opinions, it's not only that the mentee learns something, you as a mentor also can learn a lot. And this is really a valuable experience I would like to recommend everyone. Staying open for the next regional forums, for the next workshops that we are planning. We will have 4 workshops at our annual meeting 2024 in Zambia. One of them will be on finances as well. So we really think that hands-on experiences and that interactive programs are really useful for colleagues. Instead of just listening to the lectures, we would love to have people involved in dialogue. And I will stop here and give you the opportunity to enter our little web talk, which we offered after the presentation of the publication. I will just say that the publication is available on ICOM Croatia website and Intercom website to be downloaded for free. It is in English and in Croatian. So I think it will be useful for you. And I would also like to thank everybody who participated in the workshops, in the programs. We had a lot of project leaders. We had a lot of partners, and I would like to thank especially to Alenka Černalić-Krošelj, the president of the Regional Alliance ICOM-C, who really was involved in all of the workshops. And Alenka, I would like to invite you now to say a few words.
Thank you, Goranka. I think that we can also be very honored to be part of these projects that are actually going now for a few years and developing from one stage to another. And I think what is very important is also that when one stops, another one starts. It continues and it grows, and it's now like a puzzle that fits very well together. And from the point of view of ICOM Southeast Europe, I think that this is very important, that the questions that were actually asked and then also answered are connected with what we are doing in our region, because we know that in some regions we cannot always connect with the topics that are maybe in some others. They can be similar, but they are sometimes addressed differently, or they have different backgrounds. They have maybe need for different solutions. Not maybe, they really need to have different solutions. So I think this is also what worked well in one workshop that actually we organized according to this methodology and knowledge that was already there in one way in our country. I'm coming from Slovenia, so this was a good example We did an excellent workshop with directors from our country, and I think this is also was an excellent foundation for other things. We started actually forum of leadership and governance in our country, according to what we knew, what was offered through the projects that ICOM was a partner in. So I think, and I suggest also to all the others, we can promote with this publication also what can be done, what is here to just take what is offered, what actually these programs are offering. And I hope, and we will promote it again and again, to be also developed and used in one way in other countries of ICOM region and all over the world. I think that we also have opportunity to adjust to our needs. This is something that I really would like to emphasize, that this is not just you have to do it this way, but this is a suggestion. This is offered methodology, offered knowledge, and I think that that is the best that we can have in every regions. And I think that we already did some important steps in ICOM region. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we perhaps get the feedback from the audience? Anyone? Please raise your hand.
Yeah. Could be comment, could be question, could be anything. Maybe just to stress one thing. Oh, come on, Gabriela, please.
Hi, hello. Good morning from here. Good afternoon, you there. So happy to meet you all in this context. I was not able to attend to this meeting. I don't know what happened there, but I'm very happy to listen to the outcomes of all the work that you have done. I'd like to congratulate you all, guys, because this looks very impressive, looks like a big work. And I was listening to Goranka, and I can see that the problems that you mentioned, the issues, all the challenges are the same here in Ecuador as well. The region has all the problems related with communication, the lack of staff, the budget, some of the flexibilities that we as directors of museums have to be aware of every day, every time, every minute, because collections keep growing, collections keep in the need of conservation, of research, publication, and also exhibition. So from South America, from Latin America, I can see that some of the problems are the same, and but also the love to our work is the same. So I guess we keep working towards having the collections in good conditions. And also what we do here is really try to mix the help between public and private institutions to keep, to help to build the collections, to build the staff, and try our best attempt to take care, to look after the pieces and also the people. Here in CIDAP, which is the Inter-American Center for Popular Arts and Crafts, we work very close to the communities, to indigenous communities, to people that is always maintaining the knowledge, the intangible heritage that is within the knowledge of knowing how to do things. Techniques, the use of materials, and all of that that is sometimes not known and that we cannot see only in the tangible way of an object, right? It's very difficult to maintain that as well. So congratulations again for your work, and hopefully we will be in touch and working together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriela. Yes, indeed, we are sharing the problems all over the world. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes, please, colleague.
Hello.
Hello.
Aurangzeb Khan, curator, Supreme Court Museum from Pakistan.
Welcome.
I have listened to your all presentation and your published work, and congratulations from my side and from Pakistan on the work you have done. You are absolutely right that in the museums, curator has major responsibilities. A curator or director in same capacity are working. In museum, curator has to wear many hats. They are at the same time displaying conservation duties like other securities responsibilities. And beside this, they have to interact with the communities. And from as far as my subject concerned, we are dealing with all walks of lives from our countries, right? From a young student up to the a researcher and experienced people from the legal fraternity. And we are facing all the questions. In the for interaction with them, we have our social media activities on our websites, on our Facebook, Instagram. Besides, our publications are also going with them, and most of our facilities are free, of course, for the general public. Even entry to the museum is free. So I'm here, very glad to be here in this community and learning from your experience all around the world. And thank you. Except once again, my congratulations on your work.
Thank you, dear colleague. Yes, of course, social networks are really demanding, actually, with a few staff. And being constantly present with all the activities, following everything, putting it in right time. We also see it when our committees are in question. So when we have no professionals employed, and we have to do it through our voluntary work, this is not an easy task, really. Anyone else? If not, then Darko, you may perhaps wrap up.
Well, just one thing maybe which was not mentioned directly, but it's important. That's when we are speaking about leaders and we are speaking about the mentors. Sometimes people, especially when we are speaking about the leaders, sometimes people think, oh, that's director. No, it is director, of course, but it's many other people. So you can be leader leading, entire institution. You can be leader leading project. You can be leader leading one small department, and so on and so on. The same is valid for mentorship. So it is covered, I will say, 60, 70% of the people within the sector. Well, those 30 which I put aside are really those young professionals which just enter in the sector. So they probably will not be leaders, but they will soon become or be in that role. So when we are speaking about this topic, it's indeed not only discussing about top management and directors only. So just to be clear about that. And as was mentioned during the presentation, some things are similar all around the globe. Some things are slightly different. Some things are slightly more different. We are sharing many things. So in case of here, the focus was more than on Southeast Europe, maybe foremost, together in cooperation with the people from Qatar and so on. But already at the conference in Paraguay, which was organized by the 4 International and ICOM Paraguay National Committee, the topic was present there too. No matter maybe there's some other things are as was going on. So it's always present, and we are keen. I'm speaking now more in sense of Intercom, but in my case in ICTOP too, so training committee, about checking and doing the things on different parts of the world, fitting that idea of foremost leaders and mentors, which are to fit the regional characteristic of that part of the world. So in that sense, if no other comments, especially for those from people who are celebrating that Christian holidays and so on, I wish you all the pleasant holidays and so on. For everybody else, of course, I wish the happy end of this year and very, very happy start and entire new year 2024. So that's all from us. Thanks a lot for participating, and hope to see you soon somewhere else, either on Zoom or indeed alive. Thanks again.
Yes, thank you. Bye. And please follow Intercom and ICOM Croatia on the website.
Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Okay. Bye-bye.